This is Two WIT, a podcast for women in tech doing life. I'm Christy Guzman.
And I'm Melinda Smith. Hello, Christy. Happy New Year.
Oh, hello. Happy New Year.
Oh, yeah.
I'm back in the States. No one can see me. I'm actually a little bit tanner.
You look tanner.
It's funny, I love traveling to Spanish-speaking countries with my Spanish-speaking husband because then I can just make him do things. And he always has to be asked for one chair in the sun and one chair in the shade because he can roast in the sun and I cannot.
Yeah.
But my lovely friend that we traveled with gave me a fun gift. It is a deck of Would You Rather cards, and I thought that would be a fun way to kick off our getting to know you for this.
Ooh, sounds scary.
For this year. I have two
Would I
good
rather
ones.
eat bugs or eat snot? Or
Would you rather be able to expedite the arrival of an elevator by pressing the button multiple times, or have the ability to sound incredibly natural and sincere on a voicemail?
I'm going to go with elevator.
Because you're going to do it anyway?
I try not to. It's the same with the crosswalk. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to do it. But if I see other people doing it, I'm like, you guys are stupid.
I guess it depends on your role in life, too. Like, if I was a salesperson, maybe sounding natural and sincere all the time would benefit me more.
I have that ability to sound that way on voicemails. I think it comes from broadcasting school. I had an old boss that told me, it took her like years to figure it out. She said, I don't understand how you can go from a dead sleep to answering the phone and sound perfectly fine like you've been up for days. And I'm like, practice. I don't want you to know I've been asleep. And she was like, there's no way. Hello, this is Melinda.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for calling.
All right, one more. Would you rather live in a world where the handshake was replaced by the act of grabbing another's special place, giggling and bouncing up and down, or where all international disputes were settled by means of breakdancing contests?
I feel like Trump would pick the first one and tries already. I have to go with the breakdancing. I'm not even sure how I would feel about that. I'm not sure it would be as funny to me as the world in a world with hoo-ha grabbing. In
a world with giggling and bouncing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think of who's judging this breakdancing contest. Like, I think of the logistics. I do like with some of these, they tell you, like, considerations. You know, like, consider like, shaking hands with the president and, other considerations. But it is interesting to think about. Not that you need to, but now we know that.
I mean, it's the same it's the, what would you do with the lottery question, I mean, this one's a little more gross, but still, it's more fun. It's kind of fun to what would you do if, or would you rather? I like it.
Would you rather be sentenced to eternal stairmaster or perpetual diarrhea? Things to consider.
Well, I would do stairmaster.
Which do you think is the better band name?
Yes.
And scene. I love that.
Reels, though, our fun listeners, there's no way on God's green earth I'm going to hashtag this episode as perpetual diarrhea.
Come on.
So, New Year, everyone's doing the resolutions. I don't do those. I think you and I talked about that. I don't know, they seem restrictive and like there's punishment behind it. But I like to set goals. I like to set a personal goal, a professional goal. And I also am a big fan of the Post-its and writing it down and seeing it. So I thought, since we have talked about the personality types and what was the quiz's name we did last episode?
Tendencies.
Yeah. And having like a partner, someone to hold you accountable, I'm going to hold you to a personal professional goal and I will give you mine and we can hold each other. So personally, I'd like to bring meditation back into my life. I was doing it in the morning when I had a more structured schedule with trying to get all things done before I got out the door on that crazy road drive. It's a thing. I made it work. Now my alarm is set for 6:45, but sometimes I get up whenever I hear the kid get up. So the relaxation is nice, but my structure is gone. So I want to bring it back. I want more of a routine. I'm a good routine person. And professionally, I want 3 more certs this year. I think I can make that
Ooh.
happen.
Do you have specific ones in mind?
Yes, I want the Sales Cloud certification, and I don't remember what's after the App Builder, the one on the Dev Trail. I want that one,
Mm-hmm.
second one. And then I think I want to do like a marketing cloud or a Pardot, and maybe Pardot. My company is a Pardot specialist, so it'd probably be helpful for me to know that, more I could do, MOAR hours I could bill.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Give me the money, pay me.
I set some kind of themes for the year, so they're not necessarily goals. I can think about maybe some specific goals. I do need to update my previously 401 now platform app builder and take my transition exam, and I would like to get Sales Cloud consultant too, so there's two that I could get also, but I don't want to have the same goal as you. So the two things that were kind of my themes for myself were professionally, I want to be a completionist. So to me, that means like so many things happen, and there's so many things I want to do with Southeast Dreamin', with work, with personal too, but I feel like I'm not managing all of that well, which I may have talked about. And so I want to work toward being a completionist and getting it done and becoming somebody that people realize gets things done. So whatever I need to figure out from a process perspective, I just need to work on that.
Do you make lists?
I do, but then I don't do the things on the lists. So we'll see. We'll see what method
Because
happens.
I feel the same way. I mean, especially with Salesforce stuff. Like I am Jocelyn Fenwell today and was like, oh my gosh, we need to schedule the quarterly calls for the WIT leadership and completely spaced. So we have the stuff that I have already agreed to doing, and then like the stuff I wanted to do. Like, honestly, I haven't done a trail in like a month. That's a lot, but I'm trying to, get my feet under me with the new role and plan the witness success, which is big. It's a lot, as you know. And, family and life, and I want to do this and I want to do that, and I want to paint more. So many things. I make a list, but I hear you. I'd like to be a completionist too. I'd like to completely set a goal and then just do it. Just get her done.
Well, and I think the kind of flip side to that's the more personal goal or theme is be kinder to myself and my body. And to me, that sort of plays into some of that, right? Give myself credit for the things I have done. Give myself the baby steps credit, but also be selfish. We talked a little in the upholder, obliger kind of concept. I'll do things for other people before myself. So part of that is doing the Whole30 and becoming more healthy, and as that relates to being a better partner, which also benefits me in my marriage, which then benefits my friendships, which then makes me happier, which then makes me work better. So all those things are kind of tied together, but I think I'm trying to work on some things with myself, and I just want to have some patience with it. So,
I will tell you what my mom told me, and every once in a while I'll just text it to you. She always said, just be gentle with yourself. I'm like, oh, you're right. Just be gentle. My favorite things that she always tells me is breathe and be gentle with yourself. So I will help you be gentle with yourself. All right. It's a good start to a new year. It's going to be awesome. I look back, people were doing kind of like their year in review or pictures in review, and I didn't even think to do it because, again, I just don't need another thing on the to-do list. But I went to look at some old PowerPoints because I was trying to look at a subject from one of the WIT quarterly calls. And like our first call of 2016 had Shauna and Toya, and I think it was maybe the second call Jocelyn and I organized. And it feels like ages ago. I mean, I don't think I think it was the 9th, so I hadn't gotten to meet Shauna in person yet. I think, or Toya. So it's funny how it was all of these like people I've wanted to get in touch with, and now I feel like I'm part of their squad, and I'm part of people's lives, and it's just funny because it really does feel like forever ago, and it was only a year.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about our friendship developing
Yes.
in a shorter period of time.
Oh, because it's amazing and you're amazing. We should tell people one time, I'm going to move on to who our amazing guest is, but what our alternative names were going to be for the podcast. Ooh. Teaser. Okay, so. Are you ready for this?
I mean, I know who it is, so I'm prepared.
We are going to talk to Sam Safin, the polymath herself. What's that, you say? She's going to tell you. But she is an amazing member of the Gift Squad and Gift Squad for Good, doing great things. She has kind of schooled us in what polymath means and her general awesomeness. She has a really great grandma Jersey accent that if you come across her, you should ask her to do for you.
And a new job.
She does have a new job. New job, new place.
I like it.
I love it. So without further ado, new year, new all of us. New Two WIT, new Sam. Here she is.
Today, we have the lovely and talented Sam Safin here to talk with us and to celebrate her new magical job at Arcus as a project manager.
In this new magical year.
For one of my new favorite, it's not newly my favorite. One of my favorite apps, which is Clone This User. And she gets to manage it when I have problems with it. Or don't, ever, because it's great.
Yes, exactly. Please don't actually send me questions yet. Like, give me a little bit.
Give me a day. Okay.
Like a day.
I love it. So, I feel like the first thing we need to just get, like, right out of the way, everywhere in your profiles, you talk about being a polymath. And that's part of what, like, put my eyes right on you, because I went to a TEDx talk earlier this year about it, and I want you to tell people what that means, because I think it's interesting.
Yeah. So I found the term kind of like on accident. Basically, it goes back like when I was a kid. Both of my parents are writers. I'm getting like really deep here. So
just straighten it. Go for it. New year, deep.
And so my dad wrote a column when I was like 5 called "My Daughter Wants to Be Everything," and it was about him asking me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I wanted to be a policeman, a fireman, a policewoman. Like, those were 2 distinct things that I listed.
Okay.
Nice. A cheerleader and a football player and a doctor and like just all of these things. And that's never gone away. I still kind of want to be all of those things. And I've done some of those things. Okay, I've done one of those things.
Obviously the football player, I'm sure, is the one.
Yes, 5 foot. I was like the smallest football player. So that's never gone away. I can never like settle on one thing that I'm really interested in. So I always used to say I'm a Jill of all trades or a Renaissance man, but like they're also, I mean, frankly, sexist. Like, it's a Renaissance man.
Right.
So I looked up, what is a term that's androgynous, and it's polymath. So it's kind of, I do all of the things. And it sounds like really awesome. Cool, but really it's because I can't decide on what I like the most.
I totally have a new word in my vernacular now. Because, of course, I thought I was math related. And I was like, yeah, I absolutely want to know more.
About
Probably
multiple maths.
Sounds complicated. But I'm like, oh, my God, yes. I want to be to that.
And what's funny is it started with crafting. Because I would read these craft blogs and it's like, I sew or I knit. And I'm like, can I do like all of it? Can I do all of the different crafts? But without having to like go and buy all of the, like, because if you're a knitter, like you've got all of the different gauge needles and a closet full of yarn. And I'm like, I have one set of needles and a ball of yarn. What can I do? What can I do with that?
800 pot holders.
Yeah. 800 pot holders.
Pretty much.
Well, and I think, so officially, according to the internet, a person of wide-ranging knowledge or learning whose expertise spans a significant number of different subject areas.
Oh, so in love with this word right now.
Well, and I think it's cool because how it translates to the idea of solving different problems. I think, like, you get at things differently because you can apply lessons from sewing and crocheting and painting and why am I thinking of only things in the arts? But like
crafting things.
To code things, right? And to, you know, to those kinds of like project management in terms of whether it's a project of finishing a quilt for a Christmas gift or finishing writing code for a deadline, you know? So I think
having vast spans of knowledge is always helpful. I also feel like it helps you be a chameleon in a group of people. Not that you're going to be the person that's like, oh, I know about blah, blah, blah at a party, but it's nice that you can contribute to a conversation or, you know, even participate when you're like, oh yeah, you know, I've read about that, or I totally took a class on that years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that. I've yet to find someone that I don't have at least one thing in common. Okay, you know what? I should make very few people that I have not at least one thing in common. Sometimes I'm not patient enough to look for that one thing, but I try.
That is hard sometimes. Digging deep for the patience to find the commonality, not throat punch them. That's
exactly.
It also seems like you like living places where it's cold.
I don't. I mean, I say that, but like, I can't imagine not living in Michigan now. I grew up in Georgia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So Southeast Dreamin', super excited because my family still lives there, and I'm like, oh, I have to go to Georgia for work. Southeast Dreamin', I need to be there, and just maybe happen to stay and visit with my folks.
That sounds like a wonderful plan for March 30th and 31st of 2017.
It's a beautiful plan and a shameless plug.
and probably staying through April 1st. I hear that there may or may not be some sort of activity planned.
That is not an April Fool's joke. You are correct. Well, hypothetically correct.
Yes. Also, my birthday is in April, so
nice.
Like, it's really kind of it's perfect, basically. I thank you for planning that for me.
Kismet. That's another great word. This is like the word of the day podcast. What are we doing? Blogging?
New year, new vocabulary.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So how long have you been in Michigan? How long have you run the Michigan Women in Tech group?
I've been in Michigan. That's a good question. 5 years? Going on 6 years now. And the Women in Tech group started last year.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah, I went to another fantastic regional event, Midwest Dreamin', and decided to start one. And we've had 3 meetings, 2 of which were attended by other people.
It only takes one if you take the motto from Girly Geeks.
That's such an interesting, like, stressor piece, though. Like, I used to plan meetups when I lived in Boston, and similar thing with the Women in Tech, like, when you have 10 RSVPs and you're sitting at a table for 10 with 10 menus and, like, yourself, there's just, like, even if you know someone, like, there's just that, what if it's just me? But then, like, in the end, like, the restaurant's not gonna, like, ban you or something, you know? It's, like, it's such an interesting, like, fear that's, like, it'll be okay. If no one shows up, that's a bummer, but, like, you'll live, too, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's definitely, I mean, after that, the third one, when no one showed up, I was like, I'm just going to take a break, like, nurse my wounds a little bit, and then, and then go back to it. So, planning 4 whole meetings for next year, not going to go crazy.
Well, that's an interesting piece, too. So have you considered any virtual things? You may have someone on this call here who likes to tie in a virtual component.
Yeah, we did do a virtual one.
Yeah?
Yeah, and that one went really well. So, I'm so lucky now being with Arcus. I mean, two of the founders are Salesforce MVPs. So basically, I
Oh,
can just
nice.
go to them and be like, do one of you want to present to be all MVP? And they'll be like, yes, I do. And I'll be like, great.
Perfect.
We love talking.
They know what they're talking about.
I had a meeting once, and I've probably mentioned it before because it makes me laugh, that no one showed at. And I ordered wine. I was at a wine bar, and you just sit there for a while, and then, my servers laughed at me, but that's okay. I was like, you know what? I've had at least one other person show, so for the record, this is the worst. But yeah, I mean, especially in a colder climate too. Jocelyn Fenewald does the Chicago user groups.
Yeah.
Women in Tech group, and they do virtual because it's cold. And I kind of feel the same in California. Like cold, it's not cold, but driving is really difficult. Like really difficult.
Oh, we know you talk. We know you hate
I know.
it.
I'm sorry.
It's
Give
a
me
fact of
6
your
months,
life, man.
and I will quit doing that to you. I promise. But then I'm gonna become like the Donner Party, and I'm gonna complain about the weather all the time. So whatever.
The Donner, that's like a really.
You just went straight to cannibalism. I'm just saying, like.
When you live in Denver, it's just like there's snow in the high country, and how are we going to get around with the snow? And I'm like, it snows here all the time. Why is this so weird?
Okay, so this brings up a good question that's totally random because we can. Did I already ask this? If you had a beach house or a lake house or a what's the other?
Is that a common question we
Mountain
asked?
house. No, we may have asked Amy that. But
how many second homes do you have?
No, like if you were gonna go on vacation, would you go beach house, mountain house, lake house?
Oh.
And I guess we can add the kicker of like in what season.
Oh yeah, I like that. Well, I grew up in the mountains, so I'd probably go back to the mountains.
Cool.
Like the Appalachian Mountains, though, they're old, and I'm gonna sound so like proofy here, but like there's an energy about them because they are so old. Like you go there and you're like, wow, these have been worn down. Like they have seen some stuff in their day.
And like this tree fell over 50 years ago, and now there's animals living in it, and it's taken over, and
it's cool. And I'd have to go probably like late summer.
Not unbearably hot, but still a little warm, cool in the evening. Yeah. I like it.
You just need a light jacket. Sorry, that was it. Anybody with my quote? Movie quote? No?
Oh, I'm usually better at this. What is it?
Miss Congeniality?
I
Oh,
wouldn't.
Your favorite,
I'm gonna be honest.
Your favorite date? She picked a date from the calendar instead of a date, like a walk on the beach. And moving on, Melinda, tell me.
Okay, Sam, so you're a consultant now, and I am guessing, because the last place you came from, you were a consultant too. Were you an admin before? So you made that leap in the last year-ish, and tell me how awesome and sometimes not awesome that is.
Yeah, it was weird. So maybe one of the weirdest things, I was a solo admin. So it was like, that was my baby. My org was mine. And, like I made 3 binders of information when I left so that like they would know exactly what to do, and being a consultant, I enjoy it. Like I love working with clients. What I still struggle with, like all of 9-10 months in, is letting go.
Pushing them out of the nest.
Yeah, like handing the org away and being like, okay, it's yours now. That's been really weird.
I also have a hard time with that. Like, I know we're out of hours, but you don't have this set up. And what about this? And you haven't considered this. Yes. And my colleagues are like, that is not on the SOW. I'm like, but it's not right. What do you mean? I can't leave.
Exactly. Or when you're an admin, you know that you have time. So you can say, all right, I'm going to come up with an idea to, roll out Chatter or Salesforce One or whatever it is. And you can plan that 6 months out. And, and start building the foundation. But yeah, when you're consulting, you've got like, okay, we're going to go live in whatever 3 to 6 months, and all of this needs to be done. And then in that time, you start talking to the client about what they could do, and they're like, yeah, that's great, and they're all excited, and then but you can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've definitely shot myself in the foot suggesting things to make it better, and they're like, let's do it. It was my first or second project, and my boss was like, yeah, about that, really nice of you, but unless they sign a change request, you can't do it. I was like, oh, because I feel like you just asked me to do a half-assed job. And he's like, no, I asked you to do the job that was requested. Got it.
It's true. It's so true. And it's weird. Yeah.
I think it's also an interesting catch-22, like you say, when you are a solo admin or when you do, own one org that you work in. I feel like time flies and you've been in your job for over 6 months and haven't actually evaluated or changed any page layouts. Or like cleaned up all those profiles that make you want to stab yourself in the eye because there's new fun things you want to do. The first day when you're like, I can do all of the things. And then you like time flies and people are like, oh, can I build this whole magical new process object, blah, 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 blah. And that's like the shiny thing. And then you never get to the thing. So I set a goal in a meeting. I'm going to focus on like one object a month. And I want to update the permissions, do some field utilization and get that stuff out of there, clean up some record types and page layouts and all that stuff, but otherwise I'm never going to pick that over something else to do.
That's so true. I will say, like, when starting in a new admin job, there is so much value that you can show to your brand new employer if you start with those little things. If you come in and just immediately say, hey, I'm going to look at our field usage and I'm going to take a look at our profiles, and respectfully, to the admin that went before, saying, hey, I think we could clean up some things. It looks like maybe this hasn't been modified in a few years. And those things are so easy and it takes like no time at all. But at least my experience was, managers like, wow, that's amazing. You're so good at this. And I'm like, yes, I am. Thank you.
Isn't that funny? And the things that make an impact, like I created a deal alert automated chatter post when a DocuSign envelope is closed. That has gotten more kudos to me than any, like the hard stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, can we have this for the enterprise team too? Sure you can. Yeah.
Done.
Okay. I'll take that 5 minutes. But it's just funny that's, I don't know if it's visibility or what it is, but that was like, we love this thing. It's like, okay, well, who could have guessed that was the thing?
It's always like that.
Yeah.
Like the thing that you spend the most time on that is the hardest, it's so behind the scenes that just don't even know, but like a little publisher action, people are so geeked about. And that's fine. We can talk amongst ourselves and I will give you kudos for that hard process builder. But I totally get what you're saying, that sometimes you're like, yeah, but can I show you this workflow? And they're like, I don't care about that. I want to see automated
hours
chatter.
To write this formula.
Yeah. Totally.
I was cussing at the computer a lot, and now it works, and you should appreciate that.
And then they're like, but is there any way we can take away the decimal points? Yes.
Of course.
Decimal
points? Tell me more. Why is this your...
I don't know. It's just like, that was one that just came up in my mind. Because it's an easy one to fix. Points. Luckily.
That's true. I guess there the low-hanging fruit, if it were, that there's things that are good quick wins. Maybe that's something good to think about. Like, hey, admins out there, do you have an easy thing that you could do that, I'm sure people are mired in strategic alliance planning, management. I'm trying to drop all the buzzwords.
Mired in, right?
Brand new year, brand new plan, but like, is there, like, factor in some of that smaller stuff? I like that.
And that brings up a good point too, because I know there's such a push for admins to, be part of the strategy planning and, really put themselves in as a leader in the business. And which is great. I'm not saying don't do that. Just, just not saying that. But, are we overlooking? Do we tend to overlook those smaller things that we can be doing? If we get certified, we have to know all that stuff. Might as well use it, right?
Mm. What's yours?
You have.
Ooh. Go for it.
You have 4 certifications, correct?
3.
3 in the Marketo?
Working, yeah, and Marketo which is probably expiring like in a couple days.
What was your, I feel like there is a ton, like all the information is good, clearly, to know and learn to get your certification, but it is kind of disappointing sometimes that you don't get to use all that. Because like you just said, you learned it to take the certification, then you don't always get to use it.
Yeah.
I want to make just a super hardcore segue, absolutely unrelated to what we're talking about. So let's just go there.
Pivot. I
had help writing this next question because I wanted to impress you a little bit, if you don't mind. So hold on, because I know you love Star Wars. So, are you prepared? The question is, on a scale of 1 to the exact light distance in a parsec fan, where do you fall in the Star Wars nerddom?
That's a good question.
I think
I'm definitely closer to the parsec side, if only because I understand that it is a measure of distance, not time. And I am firmly in the Han shot first part of fandom.
I'm gonna nod.
Yeah, well, I had help and how I thought
From
that might go.
Who's your go-to Star Wars nerd? Oh, okay.
It's the Mister, and he was like, all right, like how, and he even gave me the distance and a segue question that could possibly come up. I was not expecting Han shot first, and I was like, is there a grassy knoll? I'm already lost now. I was like, that part I don't get. But I was super excited to ask you that. And I was like, you have to help me with the super Star Wars question. And he was like, okay, give me 5 minutes.
Let me think about it.
I appreciate his dedication to the question. I can explain the Han shot first thing.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to.
Okay. So in the total original New Hope, the very first one, there's a scene where Han Solo is meeting with Greedo, the alien at Mos Eisley Cantina. And in the original one, he takes a shot at Greedo, and Greedo shoots at him, and he ends up killing Greedo. In the remastered version, Greedo shoots at him first, and that never happened. So essentially, in the original series, it's meant to show that Han Solo is kind of a scoundrel. He shoots Greedo, kills him, just cold blood, Mos Eisley, done. But then in the remake, they're like, oh, he was defending himself. And it's like, he wasn't. That's such bull. Han shot first.
He's a scavenger. He always shot first. Yeah, I had
get t-shirts and everything. Really important.
That's awesome.
Really important.
After we saw Rogue One, we came home and probably for like 2 hours had discussions about all the movies because I like them a lot and I know some things, but he's your level. So we had like remastered discussions and then the prequels and what a disappointment and why. Because I was like, well, why? I thought they were visually pleasing. He was like, no, let me tell you how they're disappointment. And I was like, okay. And then how amazing.
Sit down and let me tell you a thing.
Yeah. So flippin' funny. It was awesome. See, all right. That's my hardcore segue.
Awesome. Good times.
I like that you were saving it up. Like, okay, now I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready with my nerdy question. So, what else kind of fun things should we ask you? Quiz time. Just kidding. I don't have a quiz to give you. So, we talked about you getting certified. How long has that been? Is it some of the newer ones?
Yeah, I got app builder. App builder. I went to Destination Success last year,
Ooh, yeah.
and
Clearly, we're excited about that.
ooh, settle in. That was a really great experience. It was the very first one, so I felt like, cool kid on the block. I actually got to share my story with some admins, like my getting started story, which was cool. And I was on the developer track, so I got to like sit and learn Apex code for like 4 days in a very cold classroom in Las Vegas. So like you're sitting there learning this stuff, and all you can think about is,
Ding,
there's
ding, ding,
so
ding,
many
ding,
other
ding.
things I could be doing right now.
So that's
But
interesting.
what was-
So where do you define yourself, sorry, on the like admin to developer tendency developer spectrum?
I am working towards developer. I've had to like back off of that a little bit because once you become a consultant, in order for partners and et cetera, like I have to get my Sales Cloud and Service Cloud, which I'm more nervous about those than I am about the platform developer.
Because it's hard, and I will tell you, you should be, because I have done Dev 401 and the app builder and failed Sales Cloud 3 times. 3. This is bananas. It's hard.
Well, and even like the practice exam questions on the study guides, I got one of them wrong because I was like, oh, well, it doesn't mention role hierarchy. So if they haven't set up role hierarchies, then it's this. But apparently, like, no.
Yeah.
Apparently, no.
It's not that the questions are like technically hard. It's their approach. I mean, of course, they're tricky anyways, but it's like standard operations or the way Salesforce would do it. And coming from your admin brain, a lot of times you think through maybe how you would do it or how it should be done. And it's difficult. So, I mean, the 2 times I failed, I earned. And then one of the times I was being cocky and I was like, I'm just going to take this test before Dreamforce. I don't need to study. And then it brought me down real quick to where it should be, like, take me down those rungs. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm just not as awesome as I thought. I was like, I've been a consultant for like 5 minutes. I can totally pass this. And I didn't at all. Mwah, mwah.
That's, so yeah, I got to study for that one. But developer, like, actually, this is so funny. I was meeting with a client and I was explaining the schema and, explaining like the data structure. And there was a lull in the conversation. And one of their developers was like, so did you come from a developer background? And I was like, no. And he said, you talk like a developer. And I was like,
that's such a nice compliment.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much.
I totally interrupted your story. Sorry. If you're in Las Vegas, you're learning developer things.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, no, but it was great. So you pick whatever track you want, and you can take up to 3 exams while you're there, and it's all included. So I took advanced admin, which, let's talk about sweating out tests. That one was like, what?
Yeah.
And then I also took platform app builder, and I did take the platform dev, and I did fail it. But I am not deterred. I know what I need to focus on.
I'm coming for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. So your 2017 certification goals are consultant related?
Yeah. Well, I have to get those like 100% by like end of February. So definitely focusing.
Working for either a smaller company. Well, they're small. There's 7 of us, but you're the second consultant that I know that their company has said you have to have this. And I have 4 certifications, and I'm working towards that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping that the 4th time I will flip and pass it, but they've never been on me about it. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I should probably just get it before they're like, so as a consultant, we are finding out in the atmosphere that you should have this. So we should be study buddies.
I'm sure like I'm probably putting way more pressure on, like, they say 60 days, and I'm pretty sure if I got into like April and was like, I've taken it and failed and I'm going to take it again, they'd be like, okay. I don't think they'd be like, you are out.
Yeah.
Get out.
Take your ball and go home. Well,
Right, so sales and service, but you're going to have that nailed down in a couple months. Are you going to try for the dev too? Gosh, what are they called now? Platform dev? What is it?
Yeah,
she's coming
I
for
will
it.
probably do that, and probably Pardot. Like, I need to just.
Oh, me too.
I've been doing the cage match blog posts, but like, I need to suck it up and do Pardot.
Cage match blog post?
Tell me more.
Yeah, Marketo versus Pardot cage match.
That sounds awesome. Go on.
Who will win?
Yeah, just breaking it down into like common things that you do with marketing automation and comparing the two platforms, because it's a question I get asked a lot. Like, what's your favorite marketing automation platform? And I'm always like, well, I know Marketo, so it's Marketo, but that's not really fair because it's what I know. So
Right.
Was that when you had
like the other
a
one.
marketing polymath moment that you became a Marketo consultant or magician? I don't know what it's called. Certified.
Marketo certified expert. Ooh. That actually came out of when I got my first admin job. I was Salesforce and Marketo admin, and I had to get at least one certification in the first 12 months, and I got them both. So
What?
That's right.
Do it to it. Lifelong learner.
Well, overachiever. Like, you tell me to do one thing. Honestly, though, I feel like that's such a woman thing to, like, kind of that fear if I didn't get both of them or like go above and beyond, I wouldn't be good enough. I don't know. Psychology.
I'll allow that if then you felt like awesome when you got both of them instead of just like, oh, well, thanks. I know. Okay.
I definitely was, I definitely had quite a few drinks after. Actually, the Salesforce exam I was drinking beforehand because I did the online one, and I was having technical difficulties where like their server was down, WebAssessor's server was down, and they were like, "We'll call you when you're able to take your exam," and I was like, "I'm just gonna make a drink then," and I'm like halfway through like a vodka cranberry, and they call and they're like, "You're ready for your exam," and I was like, "Okay."
Sure I am.
Maybe that helps you not overthink things, because I feel like that's part of the loop when you're just sitting. I took it at a place, and when you're in the room with your like authorized 2 pieces of paper in a cubicle and your purse is locked up in a blocker, and they're watching you
earplugs in
through a video camera, like, I feel like you can question your things about your life.
That is true.
I feel like you, Sam, that if I'm either I want no expectations on me at all, or if you say get 1, I'm going to get 7. I don't want to meet your expectations. I either want none on me or I'm going to exceed them. Because
Exactly.
God forbid I wasn't difficult at all times.
That's kind of true. Yeah, that's very, yeah. Like don't box me in, but give me structure.
Yes. I'm dying. What is your favorite cocktail then? So you said, would you make a vodka tonic for that drink? Do you have a favorite go-to, or does it depend on cranberry? Yes. Check the transcripts.
Right now, so Sprite has a cranberry Sprite.
What? Wait.
Yeah, and that is just so good. I mean, with vodka, it's vodka, like you don't really taste it, but it is. I will suck one of those babies down and not know what happened.
I like that.
Really good.
On my list.
Just kidding.
Cranberry, Sprite cranberry. Did I say that right?
Yeah. What's your holiday beverage of choice, except your January beverage of choice?
Oh, gosh. I think we've had this conversation. I like them all.
Probably.
All of the beverages. I am
Why do we keep talking about alcohol?
Because it is important, and this is why admins/consultants drink. Can we make it why admins/consultants drink? Because I feel like I drink way more now as a consultant.
I don't know that you can add a slash and a hashtag, just like technically.
See? Don't box me in, but give me structure. That's
just
true.
Why consultants drink.
All right. I just wanted
why
to speed
consultants bill and drink, maybe? Like, have something about
I
billing.
thought you were going to go way harder. Like, why consultants do drugs or something. I was like, whoa, I am in
Why could
for a
someone
world
take
of
it
hurt.
that far? No.
Yeah, I honestly can say it depends on my mood for beverages. Right now I'm digging on white wine, red wine. I like some Hefeweizens. I like the Gozes right now, or is it Goes? I think it's Goes.
I feel like that's very summery / California-y of you. I feel like
Yes,
winter,
I
I don't
forever
usually
summer.
like winter beer, and like it all gets very heavy and dark, and I'm much more of the Hefeweizen sours goes.
I love me a
I don't know.
stout though.
Yeah?
You what?
Yeah.
A stout?
Yeah.
No.
I'm kind of the like, if it's there, I'll drink it mindset. So
If it's free, it's
There's
for
just
me.
not a booze I don't like. It's so true. It just, I mean, if it's like really, really, really bad wine or crappy wine or really bad vodka, I will pass because I know I'll have a headache from that.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's, like you said, like, oh, is this a Bud Light party? Like, okay, I can get behind that. Sure. Why not?
What's some other fun thing that the world should know about you?
Oh
Safin?
gosh. Fun things that the world should, probably not much, honestly. Like, I don't know how much the world is ready to know. I I'm obsessed with my cat. I feel like that's kind of like, if you look on Twitter, it's like video games, comic books, Salesforce, and my cat, and that's pretty much like that sums up my
quadfecta?
life.
I like
Yeah.
it.
How
many? Just one cat?
Yeah, she is not social with other cats.
That's super weird for a cat. That's odd. They're usually so social and
With
kind.
other cats? Always? I don't know. I'm allergic to dander, so I'm not a cat jammer.
She basically tore apart my foot because she thought it was another cat one time. So
Did you have cat socks on? Just kidding.
There was a cat outside on our deck, and she's just like, I hear her throwing herself like against the glass door, and I go over and I had like these black fuzzy slippers on. Yeah, I just didn't think about it. And like it fell off or something. I don't remember exactly what happened, but she goes to run after the cat, which I had scared off, and she caught my foot instead.
Well, somebody's going to get retribution for this scare.
Like
either that cat or your foot.
Yeah. Yeah. And like she was like bunny kicking it. So like the underside of my foot had a giant, it was so painful. It's funny now, but at the time it was awful.
I love how you said
Kitty's name.
What's the kitty's name? What's the kitty's name?
Her name is Zoe, but I call her Sweet Baby Mama Loves You.
I can't even. I was going to say, I love that you said, I don't know why I didn't think about that. Like, why did I not put this in cat terms before I opened the door and considered that I was wearing black slippers that look like cats?
That's that's the story of my life with the cat, is like, I need to think like her to understand why she's upset.
That's so nice of you. It sounds like so much work, though.
Well, we don't have kids, so it's easy. Like, I just only have to worry about her and the video games, and like that's it.
And myself. That's the
and
joy.
myself.
Easier.
The story of being a dink.
It's
yes. For those that do not know, that is double income, no kids.
Very maybe West Coast. I don't know. I feel like in San Francisco, it's a known thing, and then I say it to some people because by the time you hear this, we will have went on the Strip with another couple for Christmas because we're dinks and we can, and and then people are like, "You're what?" And they don't actually say
it's just
nothing. From Spaceballs. Ding 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 ding.
Oh man,
I like that though.
Meatballs? Spaceballs. No, Speedball. Never mind, Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
Now I'm back to meatballs, though.
On that note,
yeah, we're really doing pretty great with this. I feel like we need not to shake your head at me.
I'm just saying. I feel like this is like I've never interviewed somebody. I'm like, what? Who's on my Skype? Hey, you. What you wearing?
Let's chat. Okay, so you have been in plenty of orgs in your Salesforce life, which has been going on for how long?
3. Oh my gosh, yeah, 3 going on 4 years now.
Nice. So, what would you say was your biggest Salesforce screw up?
So as you probably like, I listen to this podcast frequently, and so every time I hear it, like I've always thought about this question, like like one day they might ask me, and so now I get to answer.
And in the single digits. This is episode 9, baby. You're in.
Woo! That's awesome. Yeah. So now no one can take this story because I had it. So
Plagiarism.
we talked about the low-hanging fruit, and I speak from experience there because when I took over my first org, I had no Salesforce experience. So I was learning from like the best practice videos and then applying that. And one of the very first projects I did was a data cleanse. And I feel like we know where this is going. So basically, I sat down with my boss and his boss, and I was like, well, me knowing everything because I'd been an admin for 5 whole minutes, was like, I think anything older than 2 years that like hasn't been touched in 2 years, we might as well just get rid of it. And they were like, let's do it, execute, go. Backing up things was like a concept that didn't occur to me. So I just deleted thousands of records, just contacts and leads and contacts.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, that was your direction.
It was my direction.
Did you have like a space issue that made you start to think about deleting things, or you just like literally watched a video and then you're like, we should do this?
It was, they bought the data.com like prospector, not the prospector, but like the clean,
Mm-hmm.
And you know, marketing automation, Marketo included, is you are charged on database size. So they had already started this project, and when I came on, I kind of adopted it. So deleting the records ensured that our database size was not too large.
Okay.
And yeah, so deleted like just so many. And within a week, started getting users saying, I was looking for so-and-so, and they're not in Salesforce anymore. And, you know, one time I was like, okay, it was a fluke. It ended up being like hundreds of records. So I had to quickly learn about the recycle bin because, again, there was no data backup, and go through and use the recycle bin restore function on like, I don't know, 8,000 or 9,000 records.
Oh, well, that's good.
But at least you still had that. I mean, what if they were like told you like 2 months later?
Some of them have been pushed out. So what I learned was that the recycle bin has a limited size. It only holds like 10% of your database size. And also learn to back up your data before doing any sort of mass changes.
Interesting.
Yes,
I feel like that's a very interesting lesson that you don't fully learn until you mess it up. Because it sounds like it's like insurance. Like, sure, it sounds good. Like, if it's cheap, I'll pay for it, you know? But then, like, when the whatever meets the whatever and you need it, then, like, if you haven't done it, you're like, oh, I hate myself.
Exactly.
The biggest screw ups you never do again, or like the hardest lessons you. Well, I mean, it's nice. You just won't ever do it again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so every org, you're like, hello, what's your backup plan?
Yeah, exactly. Like, listen, the weekly data backup is free. At the very least, turn it on. Please turn it on. Yeah.
But then I have to sit there and download 27 files.
It's like a zip file. I mean,
it's 27 zip files. For me.
I don't do
right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it's fine if I just remember to do it, but then I don't, and then it's like, oh man, it's been like 2 months since I did that, and then I just admitted that. Oops.
There are also like services like Backupify, and they just do it automatically in the background.
It's possible. I was on a demo today for own backup, own somebody else. It's a really good demo, as you can tell.
They really made an impression.
It was a webinar, and I was own backup. I was, you listen halfway.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
I totally get it.
Samantha, also almost my daughter's name and the name I used playing make-believe growing up. It has been a delight to have you on our show.
It was almost my
name,
In
2017.
Too.
It really was?
Yeah, but my mom didn't like Sam Campbell, which was my maiden name.
We just didn't Sam Smith. I thought maybe she would find it too boring, so we decided not to pick that for her.
Wow. I was almost Rachel.
Oh.
In another life.
Frankly, I'm glad my mom went with like Samantha because it has like the androgyn. Like I can do Samantha or I can do Sam.
I love it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having me. This has been a blast.
Thanks for listening to us and wanting to come talk to us.
Yeah, of course. I'll just keep shouting about it. I'll blog about it too. I'm a blogger.
I bought a URL. Does that count?
That's great. Yeah. Wait, where do you blog? What do you want to pitch about yourself?
Yeah. So right now it's still polymathforce.wordpress.com, but my gift to myself is I'm actually going to buy like polymathforce.com and like do it legit so that I guilt myself into writing more.
I like it.
Too legit to quit.
Hey,
do it.
Hey. I will say the payment isn't painful enough that it's worked for me yet, but may the force be with you.
Yes, thank you.
May the force be with you.
The end.
Okay, so first of all, I adore her. She is kind and helpful and stinking adorable. And I would fly to Michigan and play games with her, even though I know squat about video games, but I would do it.
I would do it for the team. I also love that she was wearing her #GiveSquadForGood Universal Containers dodgeball t-shirt to talk to us, which no one else can see. But I think it was so wonderful and supportive, and I love the kind of idea of master of all trades, but like looking for a word that you can own, and like that's just such an interesting. Oh, actually, here's my little pin right here on my desk for clone this user. Sorry, just shiny. Sorry. I think that's awesome, and I think it's great to hear too how. Number one, you see these people that are having an impact in the community, blogging, exploring different roles, getting certified, but like she thinks it's hard too. And she has women in tech meetings that no one shows up to on accident. And, things happen. And so I think that that's a really great reminder to me to, that nobody's perfect. And not that I guess I really thought she was perfect anyway, but I don't know, like.
No, I agree. Like, really, I truly thought because of help that she's provided or, group DMs we've been in, that she was a developer, that she spoke code all the time. So it's funny to hear her say, oh, I took that as a compliment. Because I was like, that's what I thought. But yeah, I love that we continually support each other in the community and we all subscribe to our shine theory and help each other up. And nobody heard, but after we got off the call, she had said, it's so nice to be in the Salesforce community because we all lift each other up. And it's not always like that. So, it's not like I created the community, but you take a little pride in like, oh, yay, I'm glad we do lift each other up.
Right. Ooh. So what's your super favorite thing in your life right now?
I would like to tell you that it's not wine, but since we were talking about wine earlier, and I know you love white wine, I don't know how I forgot about it. It's probably because my mom was in town for the holidays and she drinks only white, so we buy more. But Rombauer
Chardonnay. It's
Yeah.
my super fave. And it also makes me giggle because my birthday, 2 birthdays ago, we went to Napa with a couple, well, like 3 girlfriends and a bunch of us, and we went up on Josh's airline. So when we flew up, we were flying with one of the members that lives in Napa but goes to LA for the week. So as we went up, we ended up hitting it off with him. We invited him and his wife to lunch. And I said something about Rombauer, and he giggled. And I was like, what? What is the giggle? And he's like, well, you know, a lot of you ladies like that. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you know, here in Napa, we call it cougar juice or housewife crack. So funny. And I don't even care. It is so freaking good. But it makes me laugh. Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you. It's amazing. You got to try it. We can put it in the show notes because it's not cheap, but whatever. It's worth it.
Invest in yourself.
Treat yourself. What's your super fave, friend?
So you may have noticed a trend that when I'm trying to accomplish something new or get to a certain point, I like to set, I don't know if it's like roadblocks in my way necessarily, but like if I do this, then I will be successful at blah, blah, blah. And so my current one that I'm trying, if I get a 2017 planner, paper planner, because I'm a visual, I like the idea of paper planner, even though, yes, I know you can calendar things, like blah, blah, blah. But
there's a difference.
But planning, I think, is a lot easier. And so, and of course, there's so many beautiful options at like TJ Maxx. It's not like a huge investment if I fail, sort of. But I think part of what inspired it is, and I can't remember if I mentioned this previously. I don't think so. I went to a session that Missy Longshore did for the admin hour, and she developed a link to the session, an awesome calendar with like some Salesforce goal setting kind of planning per month. Ooh. And it got me thinking about the things that I would like to do per month. Like there's certain friends I'd like to see at least once a month or once a quarter. And there's certain, like, I need to get my hair cut once a quarter. And that sounds silly, but then suddenly you're, like, hating your hair with split ends. And it's like, why didn't I just get it cut? And, you know, just things that are, like, greater life planning things, not, like, what am I doing Friday night stuff. So hypothetically, a planner is going to help me do that. And so I'm digging kind of going a little old school with the paper planner, but I must not be alone because there's so many options out there. So
they're so cool. And writing stuff down, you know, you write it down, you tend to stick to it more. You see it, you're visual. I'm a big fan of planners. Like I moved digital away from day planners, which was the hardest, not highlighting and having Post-its, but I still always keep a notebook in my purse and a calendar on my wall. But I mean, man, I could just cross back over to a day planner so easily. Yeah, I loved it.
It's tough because I tend to be a list maker, but not like a list achiever. Like somehow, sometimes putting something on a list counts as like doing it or like gets it out of my head, and then I never finish the list. So now I use Google Keep also to try and keep lists, and then I just kind of ignore them until I name them like fucking do this stuff
right now,
yelling at myself, you know. So so I feel like there's a place for both. I don't feel like I found my sweet spot yet of accountability to me, but we know I'm an obliger, so having some external accountability can be helpful for me. So still working on that.
Also known as your podcast co-host. Right. I will be your extra accountability.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Well,
so first one of the new year, I think it went well.
I do too, and it's possible that we're going to be together next week. So maybe we'll have to plan something fun of live from Tahoe Dreamin' if we get together.
Oh, yes. Oh, and for our listeners, the obligatory, please write us a review because that's, I think, what people say in podcasts. And we are going to start having allies on the show. We haven't had a definitive number. We're thinking, I don't know, maybe every 10 or so, but we're going to have allies on the show talking about how they're helping women in tech and at least helping further the cause of gender and pay gap.
Yeah. So I don't know that we've specifically like, I mean, we're 9 episodes in. It's not like we've like set trends or anything, but we obviously have had women guests so far, and so I think it'll be interesting, and I'm super excited for our secret first guest first. But I also think it's funny because he kind of responded like, me? Why do you want me on your podcast? And I think that's exactly the reason why, because women know they're great already. So just getting them together to talk about it
Sure.
doesn't
And we, of course, want to be paid equally and want to be considered, a heavy hitter in the room and a decision maker. So we already know that. We need to bring in the other people that want to help further that cause or help be a part of it.
Yeah.
That also don't know that. So, all right. 2017 off with a great start. Take us out there, Miss Christie.
You're looking good. Stay witty.